Hello and welcome back to all of my friends, my fans, and my fellow FTFLers to the longest running weekly episodic fantasy football update show. Welcome back, one and all, to the FTFL weekly update. Woo! Oh my goodness! Thanksgiving in the rearview mirror, Christmas on the horizon, and oh, by the way, anticipation is building. My apologies. I am the host of the show, the owner of the two-time league champs, Hulkamaniacs, and, by the way, not just two-time, but current, reigning, defending, undisputed champion of the Frozen Tundra Football League. That is right, boys and girls. It is I, Brett Sieber. Woo! We have just 2 weeks left in the regular season, and one thing is for certain, Adam Saltmarsh is not dead yet. It took some amazing late game overtime heroics. It took a missed kick. More on that in a bit. But when all the dust settled, Adam Saltmarsh finds himself still in the sixth and final playoff spot, up a game on yours truly. But again, we'll touch on that later. Now, it's just as much as Adam Saltmarsh ain't dead, Matt is not quite on the clock yet, because in the battle for the first overall pick of the draft, he took down the hammerless Valhalla Vandals. Peter, that one's got a sting. Matt, in a sense, told you, my friend, to suck it. Now, also this week, 3 teams will go into the final 2 weeks fighting for the last 2 playoff spots. 2 teams at 6-6, 1 team at 5-7. Really, only 2 have been eliminated from contention. Not bad. 8 out of 10 still in it with 2 to go. You can't ask for much more. And if you're Eric, boy, I'd have to agree. You can't ask for much more except to not be one of the unlucky few. Eric this past week joined the 10-win club. We are going to break down what that means later on in the show. But for now, my friends, let's get to the first game of the week, the battle atop the North Division. Now, not that these 2 teams were tied, but Andy was on cruise control, coming in at 9-2 to take on Jeff's 4-time lucky pants breaking. Did I even say that right? No, I didn't. 4-time lucky breaking and entering, thieving my championship title away. Boy, I can't even remember how he used to 4-time lucky pants, breaking and entering, thieving McThieve face champ. There it was. I got it. Ha! He came in at 6-5, and he beat Andy. The 7-game win streak is gonola. 89 points for Jeff, 75.5 for Andy. What this means is now Jeff is just 2 back with 2 to go. A win over Andy. Things are tightening up. Lamar Jackson played because Justin Fields was out. 16 points for him. Nick Chubb and Kenneth Walker III both notched 14.5. DeAndre Hopkins 12. Tyler, newly acquired for a 7th-round pick. Jonathan Taylor along with the 7th-round pick. Hawkinson, 10.5 points for him. The Jets defense had 9. Travis Etienne, 0. He got hurt early in the game. Hopefully, if you're Mark, you're probably hoping he's not hurt for too much longer. Jeff had Miami's defense on the bench with 21 points. Didn't matter. If you're Andy, now he had some players on the bench that probably could have turned the tide on this in his starting lineup. Chris Godwin, 18 points for him. Tua and Tyler Bass, 10. Now, Tua had 10. Jalen Hurts had 24. Andy lost by actually, it may have been 29. Had you started Hurts, you would have won, my friend. But instead, Tua got you the loss. Najee, 8.5, left the game with a knee injury, ankle, abdominal strain, whatever it was. I think it was abdominal strain now that I think about it. Not that Najee was going to rattle off another 14, 15 points. He might have. He could have gone Josh Jacobs in overtime, but we'll never know. Dalvin Cook, another disappointing game for him, 4 points. Now, before I traded for Dalvin Cook, when he was playing in 2020, he averaged 18 points a week. Since then, 21 and 22, he's averaging right around 10.6 points. That 8-point difference, Jalen Hurts versus Tua. Andy could have won this game, could have been 2 months without a loss. Instead, he has to wonder, am I going to win the North or am I not? The luck train rolls on for old Thievey McThiefface. All right, second game of the week. Speaking of a little bit of luck, because we all know that's what fantasy football is, Hulkamaniacs coming in at 4-7. Taking on Team Dickweed at 4-7. The game that basically said if you win, you're still in this. If you lose, you might as well start going through some of your draft picks, your roster, figuring out who might be around next year. 94.5 for me, 76 for John. Winning side, Amon-Ra St. Brown, finally the receiver he was at the beginning of the year. Looks like he's coming back to shape. 18.5 points for him. T. Higgins, 15.5 points. By the way, as I make my push for the playoffs, my team is as healthy as it's ever been, including, that's right, one Aaron Rodgers. The man has been playing with a broken thumb for weeks. The man had his ribs banged up in the game. He apologized to his coach for not being able to finish that game. Aaron Rodgers has been getting a lot of flack this season. Oddly enough, I think everyone is just looking. It's always the person on top. And let me tell you, I can relate. Everyone's looking to knock you off that pedestal. Aaron Rodgers is done. Aaron Rodgers is over. Aaron Rodgers is spent. He's not the same guy. He's terrible. They're losing because of him. Oh, I'm sorry. Who leads the NFC in touchdown passes? Who? Kirk Death Rock's Cousins? No. Not him. Jalen Hurts? No. What do you mean? It has to be. We talk about Jalen Hurts. No. Aaron Rodgers, boys and girls. Aaron Rodgers leads the NFC in touchdown passes. And if you go all the way back to the beginning of last season, you know who has the number two overall passer rating? That's right. Aaron by God Rodgers. And it's just ridiculous. I think you have been wishing it for so long. You just wanted to see him fail, and it kills you that he still breathed. And because of that, my friends, oh gosh, look at this. You got me all fired up, you Aaron Rodgers doubters. That's right. Because you've been doubting, because for every year for the last decade on your Christmas wish list, you've had Aaron Rodgers being done on there. And every year, the fat man comes down the chimney and he leaves you everything but. Therefore, Aaron Rodgers doubters, you have just made the champs list. Give it up. The dude's amazing, one of the greatest of all time, and he still has gas in the tank. And the Hulkamaniacs are going to take that and ride it all the way to the playoffs, baby. He had 14 points this week, by the way. Aaron Jones, 13.5. Keenan Allen, first touchdown of the season, 10.5. Juwan Johnson had a touchdown last week. He had 0 this week on 2 targets. What are you going to do? Didn't matter. If you're John, 26 points from Justin Herbert. Harrison Butker, 14. Saquon Barkley, 10. Everyone else, 5 people at 6 or below. John falls to 4-8 and out of playoff contention. Next game on the docket, the Pack Attack coming in at 9-2, taking on D's Nuts at 6-5. And I already told you, Eric has marched on to 10 victories. Now, it wasn't one of his dominant victories he's had, 92-90. Woo! Miles Sanders almost on Sunday night brought D's Nuts back, but he fell just short. If you're Eric, Josh Allen, who, by the way, last week we talked about Clyde Edward-Helaire being dropped. Former first overall draft pick. Traded last year for a first-round pick. That first-round pick this year, by the way, turned into none other than Josh Allen. Anyone who's upset with Eric needs to be upset with Adam Saltmarsh. Justin Tucker, 15. Travis Kelce, 14. Pollard, 5. He had 31 last week. Derrick Henry, 7.5. He had 21 last week. Again, not the dominating performance we've seen Eric have most of the season, but a win nonetheless as he enters that prestigious 10 regular season win club. If you're Adam,
welcome FTFL to the graveyard. I am the Fantasy Reaper, here to seal someone's fate tonight. The team I speak of has only won one time since being 4-1. You know who I speak of. The radioactive monkeys. Hi, my daughter. What? They won? Josh Jacobs scored in overtime, an 86-yard touchdown? Oh! You have been given a reprieve, radioactive monkeys. I choose another this week. Oh, the team is flailing. You are also in fantasy jeopardy. I shall reveal who you are. Now come with me to the graveyard.
Come, FTFL, to the fantasy graveyard and see whose fate has been sealed. I love the clues. Oh. Yes, one well forgotten from long ago. Oh, highly unlikely. Oh, yes. Where are we going? I'm sensing some sexual frustration with these names. Oh, Buddy Jesus. What the hell does that even mean? Oh, here we come. Wait. Where is this grave? Usually I'm there by now. Where the hell is it? Where is this stupid grave? There's too many headstones. Oh, yes. Oh, the people of Middle Spunk Creek. Oh, what a lovely town, but not what I am looking for. Oh, here's one. Oh, yes, not paid very well. But no, not who I want. Where are you? Oh, here's one. Oh, Pump. Oh, yes. Another name. Oh, where are you? Oh, the Reaper's getting angry. Oh, there's one. Come with me now. This must beat these nuts. Oh, no, it's Liquid Schwartz. Oh, not even the Schwartz can save you. Where? Oh, I must know where it is now. I saw it earlier today. Oh, where are you? Oh, damn you! Visitors from Benneby! Show me where these nuts are. Oh, there's one more. This has to be it. Come now. Yes, it is these nuts. Your fantasy fate is sealed. Better luck next year. Maybe you shouldn't renege on your parade bets.
23.5 for Sanders, Nick Folk 15, DK Metcalf 11.5, Joe the Mistake Burrow 12 points, Isaiah, who was illegally acquired, then dropped, and then acquired legally, Pacheco at 10.5, George Kittle 1.5, he's been averaging 7+. There's your difference, boys and girls. Oh, Alvin Kamara 5 points. He traded for him. Huge week. That 36.5 points in week 8, 20 points in the 4 weeks since. Second and third round draft pick coming my way, and I thank you. All right, now let's just talk for a moment about Eric and his 10 wins. When I realized that he had gotten to 10 wins this week, I thought, well, dang, that's a big number. I know that's not one that everyone has reached, and I often hear Adam Sport talk all about the greatest season in FTFL history when he won 11-1-1, and bleh, who wants to hear about that crap? Not me. Anyways, 10 wins. I went back and looked. Eric is the 11th team in the 22-year history of the league. Only the 11th team to win 10 regular season games. The last two teams did it in 2019. Andy went 11-2, Swart went 10-3. Andy won the title that year. Swart, of course, lost in the opening round and netted himself the DSM in the process. Now, Andy, 11 wins, won the title. 6 of the previous 10 teams that had 10 regular season wins went on to win the title. The only teams that didn't, Andy in 2015 won 11-2 and he lost in the title game. Joe in 2011 went 10-3 and lost in the divisional round. Sid in 2009 went 10-2-1 and also lost in the divisional round. Again, though, odds are in your favor, Eric, and we've talked about this. It's not how you finish. Let me go backwards. It's not how you begin the season, it's how you finish the season. Will you go on to be like most of the other teams that hit double-digit regular season victories, or will you be a footnote in history for one of the greatest teams that never was? I don't know. Time will tell. But for now, let's tell more about the games. Make America great and glorious again, coming in at 8-3, taking on the Radioactive Monkeys, and this game was something else. My good God. Now, of course, I was pulling for Sid. I play Sid this week. Going to be a huge game for me. Had Sid beat Saltmarsh with my victory, I would have been in the driver's seat. I would have controlled my own destiny. But because of a stupid overtime, Josh Jacobs, yet again, Hagen getting screwed by overtime like he did in the Fantasy Bowl against Markshire all those years ago. You're welcome, Sid. 110.5 for Adam, 103 for Sid. Josh Jacobs, by God, is he having a season, rapidly becoming a possible MVP candidate, not just here in the FTFL, but in the NFL as well. Granted, his team sucks, so he probably won't make it there. 39 points. Of course, the 86-yard touchdown in overtime only happened because of a player on Sid's team having a huge gaffe, although I suppose huge, maybe not quite, but we'll get there. Kyler Stupid Face Murray, 22 points. Stephon Diggs, 14. San Fran's defense, 13. Williams with 10. By the way, he has Jamal Williams, 130.5 points on the year. He had 66.5 points last year and 73.5 points, 20. He is having a career season, at least fantasy football-wise. Touchdowns aplenty. He had lots of points on the bench. Really didn't matter because he ended up winning. If you're Sid, you're still starting Stupid Face. I can't use that. Captain Death Rocks, Kirk Cousins. I don't know why. Granted, he had a halfway decent game, 22 points. Justin Jefferson, 18.5 points. People cannot, in Minnesota, stop touching themselves every time they talk about Justin Jefferson. Get over it, people. The greatest catch would have never happened if the defender would have just, not helped him. Truth. Austin Eckler, 15.5 points. Daniel Carlson, 11 points. Ramondre Stevenson, 10.5. Now, Daniel Carlson, might I add, missed a field goal in overtime. 56 yards, not a gimme. Missed that field goal. Allowed the other team to get the ball back. They went 3 and out. Josh Jacobs gets that next play, takes it to the house, 86 yards later, and the ball game was over for the Raiders and, of course, for Sid. Devontae Adams, 7.5 points, been averaging 15 points. Tyreek Hill, 9 points, been averaging 14 points. Any of those guys holding up their end of the bargain. Sid wins this game. Instead, Saltmarsh is still alive. 6th spot. Sid falls to 8-4. Last game of the week. Here we go. The Valhalla Vandals, 3-8, taking on the Architect at 1-10. In really what was determined if Matt was going to be on the clock or not. And I told you earlier, he's not. 93 points for him, 79 points for Peter. Derek Carr, 26 points. Tyler Lockett, 15.5. Jonathan Taylor, 13.5. And Rashad White, a Rashad White sighting, maybe more of him to come as this season and next season gets underway. 10.5 points for him. If you're Peter, Patrick Mahomes did not do the things that Patrick Mahomes normally does. 18 points, nothing to sneeze at, but what Peter has been seeing. James Conner, 15.5 points. He's had 42 points over the last 3 weeks. The 9 first weeks, 33.5 points. Somehow, some way, Cliff Kingsbury remembered, oh, that's right, we've got this running back that we sent the other running backs away because we felt he was the guy. And then you want to know why I think Cliff Kingsbury, you've got this problem? Because Kyler Stupid Face Murray is your quarterback. Never will be anything in this league. Carolina defense, 10 points. Uh-oh. You better hit the sounder. That's right, Peter. You know who I'm about to talk about. Run CMC. Only 4 points. Lowest total of the season. Got dinged up in the game. Sounds like he's been dealing with this knee for a while. Could it be the beginning of the end of Run CMC's season? It definitely is the end of Peter's season. He is now out of the playoffs and still, though, has a chance at the first overall draft pick. All right, let's wrap this up. Stud the dud, the cringy stud of the week. Josh Jacobs saved the Raiders game, saved Salty season. Really pissed me off. Dud of the week. For the third time, I believe, in the last 5 or 6 weeks, Daniel Carlson. In the past, because he got 0 a couple different times and hosed Sid. This week is because he missed a field goal and again hosed Sid. I love it, Daniel Carlson. Keep it up, buddy. I love that the Vikings revenge is real. It's a big thing, and Sid is a Vikings fan, and he can suck it too, just like Peter. This week, the cringy award, I think it goes to Adam Saltmarsh. Oh, no, wait. The other Adam. Adam Swart for the Kamara trade. That Kamara trade is starting to look bustier and that's not the right word. Starting to look worse and worse as we go along. Of course, time will tell. We'll see. We'll have mini trades. We are getting close to the time of year where I go through the top 10 nominations for, of course, this year will be the Cringy Award. Looking forward to that. Also, looking forward to Week 13. And here we go. The games are as follows. Mana 4-time, Lucky Pants, breaking and entering, title stealing, thief and Pants, McFace, goddamn champ, Mana. Woo! At 7-5, it gets harder and harder. It's like I'm getting older or something. D's Nuts at 6-6. Plus, it's cold in here. It's the ice cave. Hulkamaniacs at 5-7, desperately needing a win to stay alive against Make America Great and Glorious again at 8-4. The Monkeys at 6-6, taking on the Valhalla Vandals at 3-9. Pack Attack at 10-2. Can he get his 11th victory, which would tie for the league high? And then another, maybe 12, and set the new league record. He already owns most points in the game. He wants all the gold this year. Well, you can't have it, because I got it, sucker, because I got it. 10-2, taking on the Architect at 2-10. Wouldn't that be something if you lost that one? And lastly, the Mixing Cocktails at 9-3, taking on Team Dickweed at 4-8. And that does it this week for the weekly update, my friends. I hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving. I hope you had safe travels to and from wherever you went. And I hope you're ready, because we have now in front of us 5 more weeks of football. 2 regular season, 3 playoffs. The home stretch is upon us. The lights are up. You know, this is the time of year where everything gets just a little bit tighter, a little bit more serious, and a whole lot more fun. Thanks for tuning in. Until next week, my friends, we'll catch ya. Peace!
Jingle bells, reaper smells, I'm not afraid of him. Take his soul, gonna dig a hole, and then I'm gonna kick him in. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Ain't gonna reap me. Ain't gonna reap me, no way.